Okay, so today we have notes 2A.2. We're going to be rewriting arithmetic and geometric to linear and exponential. Okay, so in part one here, we're going to figure out which of the two equations are the same. And I have over here, we're going to replace the x with zeros to check. So when I rewrite all of my equations here, I'm replacing my x with a 0. So I have f of 0 equals 5 minus 2 times 0. In this one, we're replacing the x with a 0, so we have 5 times 0 minus 2. And then in this next one here, we're going to replace this x with a 0, so we have y equals negative 2 times 0 plus 5. Okay? In each one of these, I want you to go through on your own, figure out what the number is. So like you're trying to figure out f of 0 equals what? Y equals what? Y equals what? So figure out each one of these, and then I want you to tell me which one is the same. Okay, so the first one, A, and the letter C are the same. Now, look at the two equations that we have. Tell me, give me some things of how they are similar. Tell me some things of how they are similar. Okay, so let's look at part 2. So we're going to rewrite the explicit function equations into explicit xy equations. Now I want you to write this down. The sign in front of a number follows that number. So if it's negative, it stays negative. Also, right, variables attached to a number stay with that number. So if the variable's attached to the 3, it's gonna stay with that 3. So let's look at this first one. We have f of x equals 5 plus 3x. When I rewrite this, I'm gonna rewrite, instead of an f of x, I'm gonna write y equals, okay, 3x goes in front. So, and it's positive, so it's gonna stay positive. So we're gonna have 3x. The variable also stays with it. And then I'm gonna bring this 5 to the back. Now this 5 right now is positive, it's gonna stay positive. So I have 3x plus 5. Okay, that's how we rewrite it. So let's look at B. So f of x changes to y equals, then we move the 2x up front. It's a positive 2x, so it's gonna stay positive. So we're gonna have 2x. This negative 3 is gonna go behind, right? It's a negative 3, it's gonna stay a negative 3, but now it's gonna, instead of saying negative, we can say minus 3. Remember, negatives and minuses are very interchangeable in high school math. So whenever it's behind something, it's a minus. Whenever it's in front by itself or in a parentheses by itself, it's considered a negative. So letter D, we have a parentheses x minus 1. So that's gonna follow this 5. So we're gonna have y equals plus 5 parentheses x minus 1. All of that moves over to the front because again, that x is attached to this 5, so they go together. So all this goes up front. Then we have this negative 2. When we write it behind, it's now gonna be a minus 2. Let's look at letter G. So letter G, we have f of x equals negative 2 times 3 to the x, okay? Now we can write this as y equals negative 2 times 3 to the x. The only thing that changes here is f of x, instead of f of x, we write y. That's what's nice. So these are geometrics, AKA exponentials. So those don't change much. All they do is go from f of x to y equals. Versus these ones from earlier, they flip around the arithmetic stuff that we wrote, they flip around for the linear. All right, so in this next one here, again, we have multiplication, so it's geometric, AKA exponential. So we're gonna rewrite this. The only thing that changes is it goes from f of x equals to y equals, and then we have 3 times negative 2 to the x minus 1. All right, the rest of the examples we'll do together. Once we go through the examples together, make sure you're doing your exit ticket as well and your homework.